Hello everybody, so I'm reacting to a video, but I'm not going to be playing the video because if you're not new to my channel, I do not put people's videos. I just use it as reference to talk about it. So I was scrolling through the streets of YouTube and I saw this really emotional video. It's about a lady who was leaving UK to go and restart her life again in Nigeria. It was very emotional because she called her mom at first to tell her mom that she had applied for a lot of jobs and she wasn't getting, and her mom said something like, "We cannot reject our own." That was really nice. So because of that line, the video went viral on Instagram and everything. I was able to read a lot of comments. I saw people say things like, didn't you see cleaning job? Why? I saw some people that are very encouraging. I also saw some people that said, but is it not your home country that you're coming back to? Of course, everybody had an opinion. So for someone who moved back to Nigeria, even though I've always known that I wanted to move back to Nigeria, I want to talk about how this can happen, like how you can, will I say, navigate moving back in case you find yourself in this situation. Now, we know that recently, especially, that I was moving out of Nigeria and there was Japa. Japa really happened, I think, right after the pandemic. That's when we got to see a lot of these Japa people leaving the country, for so many reasons. Like, I know that the main Japa stuff really happened after the lockdown. I think that was when UK started this whole thing of you can get your stay as long as you're renewing. They added skilled workers. That was when we knew about like PR in Canada, and a lot of people used that opportunity to leave the country. I'm saying it because prior to that, right, when people are going to school, they didn't used to call it Japa. For them, it was like, if I find a job, I stay. If I don't find a job, I come back. But they were more open-minded than the people living now. So the people living now, in fact, because of that, immigration kept increasing their requirements, because even when people went for school, the plan was not to come back, the plan was to work. So they're like, okay, if you must stay here, at least be doing this and contribute to our economy, if you know what I mean. So this is how this thing will really help you if you're in this situation. Maybe you've left a long time ago and you're like, I'm struggling, I really want to come back. Or you're just like, you know what, I want to try it out. Like, I want to move. Like, I spoke to someone yesterday and she was like, Sarah, I'm ready, I'm moving back to Nigeria. I mean, if it doesn't work, I try again, but that's life. Even moving abroad in the first place was trying. I didn't know if it was going to work out, so why can't I try the same with Nigeria? Yeah. So first of all, I want to talk about those that are Japan. Maybe if you haven't and you're about to, please, I know that there is this urge to do these videos where you say, follow me as I relocate. I'm not talking about the clickbait itself. I'm not talking about the title, because as a content creator, anybody can use anything as a title. But in the video, make it obvious that, and it's going to help you a lot, make it obvious that you are going to school. Yes, it is very important. There's this mindset that he has. It's like, I'm going to school. I saw a video of a girl relocating, and her friends were like, oh my God, you got your papers, blah, 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 blah. She was not relocating, sorry, she was going to school. And they said, will you come back? And she said, I don't know yet. Her friend was like, no, don't bother coming back. Don't come back here. Those mindsets are what keep people stuck, are what is making people really depressed. It's making them really depressed because you gave that whole impression, maybe publicly, like, I'm not coming back here again. You cut ties. There is so many stories of people not even telling their friends, their close friends, that they are moving out. And it's more like when you now get there and it's not the way you saw it, you don't know how to circle back because you felt that they were the witches and wizards that were helping you not to get your paper. Again, I am not saying announce it to the whole world, but I do not understand those stories of you traveling and you're not able to tell someone that you called your best friend. No, stop breaking those relationships. Go with that mindset of, okay, I am going here just like any other place. If it doesn't work, then I come back. How you achieve this is not breaking all your ties with your home country. First of all, there's something I forgot to mention. Someone asked me that, why do I always say this video is for Nigerians in the diaspora? That why am I not saying people abroad? Commented in my last video. It's different. Nigerians abroad and Nigerians in the diaspora are two different people. Nigerians abroad and Nigerians that have gone abroad, they just live abroad. They have no ties with Nigeria, no property in Nigeria. They are not interested in coming back to Nigeria. They don't see themselves coming back to Nigeria. But Nigerians in the diaspora are Nigerians who, even though they moved out of Nigeria, they're still emotionally connected to Nigeria. They might want to move because I see comments on my page. Some people say, I am not planning to move anytime soon, but my heart is still with Nigeria, so I watch these videos. Yes, there are people who invest in Nigeria because their heart is there. Those are Nigerians in diaspora. So those are the people that I mostly make videos for. Yeah. So this is it. You have to treat it that way. Do not cut ties with people just because you are moving to a country. No, it's going to make it difficult for you to circle back. This lady, when I saw that video, I could just imagine and how she broke down. I could imagine the series of applications and applications. Even people that are saying, why don't you just get this? Do you think that she didn't step out of what she studied to try and get any job? The country she's in, the people there, the people that live there too, are trying to get jobs. We all know what happened after the pandemic. But because she's had that relationship with her parents where they knew that it's not a do or die affair, like if you can't do it, come back. It was easy for her when she was getting to that breaking point to call and say, you know what? I am coming back. A lot of people now, because of the pressure that their parents mount on them or the pressure that they've put on themselves or how they left good paying jobs to travel, they find it difficult to circle back and then they start suffering. You must, if you're interested, right? This is just an advice. I would say open your ties, maintain that relationship with Nigeria. Another thing I want to say is try to watch videos of people like myself. I could have had a million views if I was doing videos just bashing Nigeria, because we know how it is. If you want to get popular, even people that come for Dirty December, that's what they do. They open channels and all they do is, oh, Nigeria this, Nigeria that. If you have followed me, you will know that I talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. Right? I want you to see the negative side and the positive things as well, because no country is perfect. So watch and follow people that tell you the truth about Nigeria. When I was abroad, I did that a lot. Not the ones you read in news. One person, analyzed for maybe medical negligence, right? Which is really sad and something we should talk about. But instead of that to be the headline, people make it look like, don't come to Nigeria. We have over 250 million people in Nigeria. How are they getting medical treatment? They make it look like all the Nigerian hospitals are bad. All the Nigerian doctors. Do we need, do our hospitals and all need a 360? Yes. But not the way people are also putting. Like, it's already bad. We don't need to over exaggerate, if that makes sense. So have a conversation with people that are doing well as well. Like, personally, I've had over 4 major surgeries in Nigeria. Surgeries that I could have had in America. I've had surgeries in Nigeria. I've also had people who went in for surgery in Nigeria and did not make it. I've had people who went in for surgery in America, did not make it. I've had people who went in for surgery in the UK and did not make it. But we know how it is. Like, that one makes the headline and portrays the country like, oh, if you come, it's almost like if you're walking on the road. Immediately you're walking on the road, and if you wound yourself, there'll be nobody to even treat you Panadol, to even give you original Panadol, if you get what I mean. So have conversation, have a relationship with the real people. There are people that work in Nigeria that are making money, that are living okay. There are people that don't have passports. Like, I'm talking of Nigerian passport. They have never, for years in their life, all the money and everything they've had, they've never crossed this border, and they are not planning to. They exist. But I know how it is. Like, psychologically, that's how it is. Like, when you leave a place and you left it because you want to tell yourself a lie and somehow make that lie to be your truth. So you always want to hear terrible stories about that place you left so that you won't feel that you made a mistake. I was telling someone that the things that were happening in America, if it was happening in Nigeria, everybody, their father, their pussycat, and their dog will open channels just to talk about America. I'm telling you, just to talk about America. Like, there's some things I read about that happens in countries like, maybe happens in the UK, happens in, and I'm like, if this thing had happened here, oh, we will not stop talking about it. Yes, try also not to engage. Like, knowing the truth doesn't mean dwelling in negativity. I try to do this a lot, right? Even with like my friends and all things. If I'm on a space, maybe like a TT space or Instagram live or YouTube live, and there's so much complaining about Nigeria, or so much complaining about poverty, or so much complaining about the situation, I indulge, I give myself time. When it's now becoming like, we're getting deep into it, like no hope. Even if it's better for me, anywhere is better. It's better for me to go to a country where they are even fighting than be here. When that conversation starts getting there, I remove myself from it. That is why when people move back to Nigeria, they get so shocked because they are always engaging in these conversations that make it look like everybody in the country is poor. Someone came on my channel and commented that, oh, Nigeria has over 235 million people and that they are all poor, which is why people abroad should avoid Nigerians. Like, can you imagine? So being abroad automatically means that you're richer than the 200 and some million people that live here. Now, when you now have to come back for some reason with that mindset, and let me tell you something, I'm not supposed to say this, but this is why a lot of black tax still happens a lot, because people take advantage. They are doing well in Nigeria, but because they know that people abroad like to make it look like everybody in Nigeria is broke, they take advantage of that. And every time they call you, they're telling you a sad story. But how come every year they're still pregnant? Their wife is still pregnant. Or every year they're expecting. So I'm sure you've seen some of those videos of people saying, I came to Nigeria, my auntie I used to give money lives better than me. This my family friend I used to send money, has 6 kids. I can barely take care of 2 in the UK. Yes, because sometimes they also use those things to get people abroad. Since everybody abroad is saying that once you're abroad, you're doing better than those in Nigeria. Okay, send money now since you're doing better than those in Nigeria. Another thing that I really wanted to point out, the people who discourage people that are trying to move. If you have had a conversation with me, like a one-on-one consultation, you know that one thing I'll never do is to discourage you from moving, even my videos, no matter how bad it is. Do you know how sad it is? There was a doctor who left one of the biggest hospitals, showed his whole thing, like showed the hospital, showed himself, so that you people will know that he's really a director in this hospital, but he decided to come to Nigeria and open a hospital. What was his DM like? What was his comment? Don't come, your business will fail, they will crash this. I'm like, you guys are complaining that doctors are not here. Now a doctor wants to move back to help and you're discouraging them. What if, because you're abroad, what if tomorrow your cousin or your family friend gets into like an accident or something? Who's the doctor that will train them? We've had incidents of people who came to Nigeria for something and they needed, I heard that there was a billionaire who went to a state in Nigeria and fell sick. And unfortunately, that state did not have the equipment. And this is the state that this man is from. So imagine if as a billionaire, he had built a world standard hospital in that state. Because at the end of the day, I think it was his child's wedding or something like that that brought him back home. He gets the best treatment where he is. But because these things were not available, because we don't talk about it, right? He didn't have it in his state. And guess what? The story was sad. So I do not understand how you go on the comments, even this lady's page, like when they posted it on one blog, people are like, I'd rather not come back. It's better you clean. So it is better for her to be a cleaner in the UK than to be an engineer or something that is going to fetch her work. So this is something again that we do, that a lot of Nigerians do, that I do not understand. On my channel, I block people every day because you will see channels where all they do is to talk about Nigerians. You will leave that channel, come to my own and be telling me crap about Nigeria. I don't go back and forth with people. I block. You're telling me don't encourage people, don't do this, Nigeria is like this, Nigeria is like that. And if you've watched my channel, I say the good, the bad, the ugly. I say it the way it is. But that I'm going to focus on just the negative for a country that has over 200 million people, that a country that has people that are poor, people that are rich, people that are like so many things, businesses. I have seen people. My friend is coming back from the UK and I sent her brand. She called me to say, Sarah, I have been shopping Nigerian bags, Nigerian shoes, Nigerian clothes. She was like, wow, these are more affordable and they are even nice. And I feel like I am supporting Nigeria. That is something else I wanted to talk about. If you know that you're Nigerian in the diaspora, like you're so, which I believe that for you to find a video like this, it means you are searching for something. Invest in Nigeria, no matter how small it is. Bonds, stocks. I'm going to have a whole video. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, turn on post notification, because I'm going to do a dedicated video to investment that you do not have to be around. You do not have to be around to invest. You can be an angel investor. If there are places like, oh, you're like, oh, Nigeria, I heard that, paramedics or whatever is not good, but I can invest my time, or I'm good at this, I've studied this for a while, I want to invest in, so you can collaborate with people without even being in Nigeria. Invest in Nigeria. You can you can invest in real estate, so many things. And let me tell you the irony, especially for the people that have kids. There's a guy I follow. I don't follow him, but I see his posts come up every now and then. He moved to Nigeria. He's managing his father's business. He lives in his parents' house. So many of you are doing so well, right? Your kids are going to come back and they will not have where to stay. Yeah, because this new generation of kids that are always trying to find their way home. So they will come back and they don't have anywhere to stay. Because we've seen, like, I've known more people relocate from America recently. They're like, I'm cool, but with what's happening, I'd rather just be here. We've seen people relocate for their peace of mind. Just say, I'm here, I'm tired, I want to relocate. You don't know the reason, but do you have any investment in Nigeria? Because chances are you might not be able to invest where you are. Yeah. Example, you want to buy a house and that house costs you 80 million in Nigeria. But with that 80 million change to pounds, you might not be able to have a proper investment there, even with a passport. So why not invest in Nigeria? I have a lot of videos about real estate investment and stuff like that. So if you're interested, you can also scan through why I'm going to be doing a dedicated video on places to invest. Invest in Nigeria. Invest in Nigeria. And what again I want to say about Nigeria, like the reputation that we have in Nigeria about, oh, Nigerians are this, Nigerians are that. You are that representation that you need. When people come across, do they do business with you? This is what they have always said on my channel. Every time people do business with me, I always say, I want people to say, oh, I heard Nigerians are like this, but I have a different mindset because of this. If you order something, if you're selling something, don't do what I ordered versus what I got. If you're telling people that you're selling red hair, give them red. If you're selling black, give them black. Because that thing you're saying that Nigerians beg a lot, Nigerians do this, Nigerians do that. Every time someone meets a Nigerian, which could be you, your interaction with that person is also what forms that opinion. When they say Nigerians do juju, Nigerians do that, who formed that opinion? Nollywood. They didn't wake up and assume, oh, Nigerians do fraud. It's Nollywood. It's the industry. It's the people they met that helped to form that opinion. So in everything we do, even in the content, I know that we have this urge to, even if you go to Zanzibar, you're like, see, Zanzibar, Nigeria cannot relate. I saw this video of one of the cleanest countries in Africa, Rwanda. The guy went there, he was holding a nylon, he was holding his food, and he sat down on the floor and he made a video about it, right? And everybody in comments was like, oh, Lagos cannot relate, Lagos cannot relate, look at how clean it is. He even sat on the floor. And I went to that comment and I said, guess what? Did you see how he put his stuff, the plastic he had, on the floor? And he picked it up. I watched that video to the end to see that guy was going to pick it up. And I said, Nigerians, can you relate? Or do you guys go around the street? I said, that is how to make a country neat. The government has a lot to do, but we ourselves as citizens as well have a lot to do. When you finish chewing your corn and throw it on the road, then you come out and complain that Lagos is dirty. Who threw it on the road? Who threw that pure water on the road? When someone gives you a business as a Nigerian and you're trying to scam that person, that is the image the person will use out there to, I'm going to say, oh, these people are scammers. That's how these things are formed. So when we keep contributing to that thing, again, like I said, it is not about not complaining about the things that are good or the things that are bad or calling it out the way it is, but it's also not fueling the wrong narrative. When we sit down and help to fuel that wrong narrative every time, cannot be Nigeria. It can never be. Someone made a video, I was watching her video and she said, oh my God, I am wearing a Nigerian designer. Like, this is just a freaking designer. Look at how nice this is. And the dress she was talking about was the simplest dress I've ever seen, because Nigerian designers are one of the best. It almost felt like a second-hand compliment. by saying that you might watch it and feel like, oh, she was praising Nigeria. But I looked through it and I was like, that's a second-hand compliment. Like, we've gone past the stage. Why? Because sometimes what falls instead is, guys, follow me as I tell you my bad experience with a Nigerian designer. So because of all those things, right, it now takes over the positive thing. Lastly, I want to say is, if you want to move abroad, if you are already abroad, whether you're going to school or whatever it is, always try to what, focus on a course, focus on something that if you ever see yourself back in Nigeria, it can work for you. It is very important. I tell people this. Example, you're going to study law in a country that means, you know, that some people that, I don't know how to put this, I don't say the wrong thing. Like some countries that share the same, like if you study law in the UK and you come back to Nigeria, you don't need to study law again. You can practice as long as you go to law school. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there are countries that their laws are different. So if you study law in that country, you must stay in that country. My point is, think about, what if I find myself back here now? Even your kids, like if you have kids and you're trying to advise them on courses to do or stuff like that. If I find myself in Nigeria, what can I do that can help? A lady graduated with first class Mandarin, first class. You know what it is to go to China and graduate first class learning their language? A lot of people in the comment section there were saying things like, why is she coming back to Nigeria? Why is she coming back? For somebody who sees and have seen a lot of Chinese business that happens in Nigeria, I could already see where she would plug in. I could already see where she could plug in, right? So it is very important that you're thinking about things like that. Like, if what you tell your kids about Nigeria, what you tell people about your country, do you get what I mean? What are you investing? Is your heart still here? Or do you go from one comment to the other to say that country can never be great? That country is bad. Are you just looking for where they are saying negative things about that country? Are you contributing to that country? When people meet you, do they say, this person is different. This person is different. When I give this person a job, they handle it well. I'm just saying. And shout out to everybody who, is trying to make that life of moving, whether it's from Nigeria to the UK, UK to Nigeria, wherever it is. Moving, relocating is not easy, because oftentimes when you get there, it's so different from what is in the book or whatever. I just want to use the opportunity to encourage everybody that is planning a move. It is not easy, but with better preparation, it can help you have a better soft landing. Get the right information when moving to any country. Thank you so much. And if you did enjoy this video, please tell me the part you love most, and drop a thumbs it up so that the algorithm can know that you guys enjoyed it and show you more of my video. Thank you so much and stay blessed.